From the city to the suburbs, our region is thriving. In Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, an historic transformation is underway. Renaissance, revival, resurgence. We're not just fixing up, we're growing up, getting bigger and better. From the mom and pops to the biggest of them all, opportunities abound. This is Growing Greater Philadelphia.
Welcome to Growing Greater Philadelphia. I'm NBC 10's Tracy Davidson. Greater Philadelphia has become one of the most attractive regions in the world to grow a business. It's fueled by an innovation ecosystem where networking is encouraged and collaborations are forged. A place where entrepreneurs, business leaders, and investors are interacting with startups and service providers like never before.
A lot of us are building things that solve very practical problems in industry and for enterprise.
It's never easy to raise money, but it's never been easier than it is right now.
I want to talk about where we started, why we changed, and what we do now.
You got to get really good at how you do marketing. Otherwise, you're just inefficient.
I do think the startup community is playing a very key role in the economic development of Philadelphia. And I think we are the innovation, engine for a lot of the larger companies in the region. I always say we're stage appropriate. Like, we get compared all the time to the Valley. How are you guys stacking up to the Valley? How do you stack up to New York, whatever?
We shouldn't be trying to compare ourselves to any one market. We should be trying to sort of look at the distance traveled and look at the real growth we've had. You have hundreds of entrepreneurs in Philadelphia have gotten started and gotten funding in the last decade. Thousands of jobs, and that just creates a cycle, because once people go to work for a startup, as they grow and as that company grows, they will go and start their next company, and it kind of begins to sort of create this really robust ecosystem, which we're seeing right now.
You know what it is? The excuses have come down. The reasons to not start something up 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I remember when I started SEER, my boss said, "What are you going to do about health insurance?" I'm like, so I'm not going to start this because I'm worried about health insurance, right? And I think that those excuses and the barriers have become less and less and less.
The other thing that's special is that Philly is more collaborative than competitive in terms of our startup ecosystem. And the fact that some of my closest friends are people who have started companies that compete for the same investor dollars and the same airtime, and we all need the same resources, but we all share with each other. And that's just been incredibly instrumental to our success.
But what's great about that is people who do amazing things are accessible. A guy like this, I wouldn't be able to put my hand on it if I was in a lot of other cities.
You should probably be careful right now.
Yeah, he does some jujitsu and breaks my wrist.
Yeah. I think the other thing that's going on is, technology is no longer the blocker to implementing whatever your wild and crazy idea is.
And the affordability of Philly, that made it possible for me to bootstrap my company so I could actually do this full time.
I think it's a great time to be an entrepreneur in terms that the cost to start a company has come way down. You don't need to raise millions and millions of dollars of venture capital. So that enables hundreds or thousands of people to try to be entrepreneurs, to take their vision to reality. 20 years ago, that was not possible.
Since 2013, more than 100 biotech and medical services startups have received nearly $800 million in venture funding, and they're using it to revolutionize their industries.
We really make it easy for scientists around the world to print and pattern cells in 3D. And that in itself has huge implications on society.
Bioprinting is the process of producing living tissues using 3D printing capabilities. Until startup Biobots introduced their printer in 2014, it was a costly endeavor.
If you wanted actually to access one, you had to pay on the orders of $250,000. So it was like this inaccessible technology that no one could really touch.
Biobots device is the first ever desktop 3D bioprinter with a price tag of $10,000.
With our plug-and-play devices, it becomes very easy for people to grasp, okay, this is how I use a bioprinter, this is why it's valuable for me, and if I want to begin using it, I can start tomorrow. And that's really the game changer.
Right now, the printer's greatest impact is in clinical and pharmaceutical development.
Pharmaceutical companies spend a lot of money on trying to figure out which drugs are going to work and which drugs aren't. So if they're able to test drugs on tissues and know that it's going to work, that's like a huge value add right there.
The hope is to unlock the potential for life-changing innovations now that the technology is more attainable.
Ultimate goal here is how can we make these 3D tissues and actually implant them back into humans? Like, can we make knee cartilage? Can we make bones? Can we make heart valves? You know, human organs. Those are the biggest impacts of where the technology can go.
The company is undergoing an evolution, recently changing their name from Biobots to Allevi, a name inspired by their users.
They were really doing so much more than hardware, and so we looked to them and saying, they're trying to alleviate suffering, they're trying to cure disease, they're really trying to build with life. And so with that was the entire push for kind of the name change in Allevi. The vision is really to be a platform that makes it easier to design and engineer biology, you know, having this massive impact on humanity. And we hope that that kind of combination at the end will drive, you know, our ability to be able to live longer as humans.
Coming up, the future of urban education.
We decided that we're going to throw out traditional textbooks.
And Camden's makeover gets a powerful boost.
We are working in developing a new nuclear reactor.
Growing Greater Philadelphia, presented by Sunoco Pipeline.
Welcome back to Growing Greater Philadelphia. Imagine an inner city school where entrepreneurship is part of the curriculum and collaborating with real companies is your classroom.
Let me get that iced vanilla latte.
This is Cafe Vine. Like most cafes, they offer a variety of coffee, drinks, and pastries. But this one is in a public school and run by the students.
We saw that they were all coming in with coffee every morning, and we wanted to find a way to kind of connect a lot of their cultural experiences with their learning.
Philadelphia's string theory schools have been pioneers in progressive education since 2013.
We put $10,000 into an account for them to manage, and we told them, this is not an after-school bake sale for you, and we want you to, manage this just like you would a business.
We sold out of all our food. I think that's always great.
String Theory is K-12, tuition-free, and offers all of the traditional subjects required for students to graduate. But that's where the similarities end.
So you guys did 16 samples from 8 different restaurants, and we found that 10 of them were replaced.
The STEAM-based curriculum is supported by facilities that include a biotechnology lab, TV and broadcast production, a motion capture studio, an engineering and robotics lab, and a kitchen studio.
And it's really about allowing kids to have the flexibility to pursue their passion.
What you won't see are textbooks.
We know that how kids consume content and now how they create content is first and foremost through mobile. So we decided that we're going to throw out traditional textbooks.
In September 2017, the school announced their next step toward the future of urban education.
Particle is a new type of collaboration space where students work alongside really innovative startup companies on design projects.
In exchange for free office space in the school, companies must provide an educational benefit.
What we were afforded was an opportunity to work in a space with students who are kind of our target audience, but then also help teach them how to make games and really help grow the game community here in the city.
Logos and branding, packaging and manufacturing, prototyping, web design, TV, photography services, social media are all things that kids are getting experiences here in the building with. We're developing a 21st century workforce, and being able to provide a entrepreneurial experience for them allows them to become confident decision makers. It allows them to be creative leaders, and by the time they're getting out of high school, they're really making much more mature decisions in life.
Solar power is one of the cleanest, most sustainable, and renewable resources in the world. Thanks to coordinated efforts between local organizations in our region, access to the energy source is getting easier.
The cost of solar panels has dropped 80% over the past decade, and demand now is skyrocketing.
Over the last few years, we had a 600% increase in solar applications. So our customers do want solar, and we want to meet that need.
Innovation in battery storage helped increase operational efficiency.
One of the biggest frustrations people had was that at nighttime solar systems didn't work. Now we can have a solar system generate power during the daytime when people were at work, and then at nighttime use that power.
Also, the energy grid, which was originally designed for one-way electric flow, has been upgraded.
Now we have a two-way flow where we're sending power to customers, but they're also bringing power back onto the system. So we spend about $500 million every year to make the infrastructure more safe, more reliable, but also to provide more opportunities for customers to interconnect with our system.
These inverters and battery backup systems are smart in the sense they communicate directly with the utility. So they can actually talk to our inverter and say, listen, please turn on the battery because we need power.
Solar power is easier to access for some, more than others, but PECO is working to change that.
Last year, we brought together industry representatives, advocates, government officials to talk about how we could better provide solar. And that culminated with our Distributed Energy Resources Group, but also our solar legislation, Solar for All, where we look to provide solar credits for our low-income customers. Most recently, we partnered with Solarize Philly and also the Philadelphia Energy Authority. And these partnerships help us to make solar more available to all of our customers and to take advantage of this resource.
Major development projects are underway in Greater Philadelphia. They represent more than 4 million square feet of new space and $10 billion in capital investment. And almost all of them are being built by companies belonging to one local organization.
From Wilmington to Camden, Philadelphia to the suburbs, the construction industry is booming.
We've never been busier, and we continue to see work out for many years.
Hundreds of companies fiercely vying for business is a good thing, according to member organization General Building Contractors Association.
They push each other to be better and keep the standards high, and that's why you've seen the quality of work is as good as you'll find anywhere in the world.
Your competitors out on the street, but in here, we're working for the industry. We're working for the advancement of the whole.
One of America's oldest trade associations, the GBCA's members include more than 250 companies from across our tri-state area.
We started as part of the Carpenters Company in 1724, and what makes us unique is not just our history, but what we're doing today.
The Construction Leadership Council is an organization within the GBCA that is designed to cultivate and educate young leaders, because there is nothing more important in this industry than a well-educated, well-motivated young leader.
So whether it's scheduling or whether it's cost control, project management, leadership, we need to be able to educate certain members to do what's necessary in order to move to the next level in the construction industry. And that's what we're all about.
It's very important for our own survival as an industry to really embrace minority and women, both to encourage them to come into the industry and start companies and take their place at the table, but also in terms of the unionized workforce.
Working as an industry watchdog, the GBCA also acts as a facilitator and an advocate.
The General Building Contractors Association is very involved politically. The last thing we want to do is have bills passed through City Council that continue to hike up the cost of construction.
We're out there in City Hall in Philadelphia, in Harrisburg, we're in Washington, D.C. We're advocating for efforts that are going to help make it so that the Greater Philadelphia region stays an attractive place to build and to have people really put down roots.
Coming up, groundbreaking facilities on the banks of the Delaware.
What you're looking at here is one of the largest in North America.
Are helping revive communities in need.
I've never seen a project like this in my whole entire career.
Growing Greater Philadelphia is presented by Virtua. Virtua for life.
The revitalization of Camden is crucial to our region's success, and a new massive facility on the waterfront has the city primed to flourish once again.
We're in the advanced manufacturing building of Holtec International. It's approximately 320,000 square foot. or roughly the size of Lincoln Financial Field.
Holtec International manufactures products for the nuclear power industry. With a footprint in 18 countries on 5 continents, the company could have built their new technology campus anywhere, but its founder, a Penn graduate, saw opportunity in our region.
The appeal here is that there is a Camden here, and there is a streak in me that wants to help such people.
The 50-acre site was formerly the New York Shipbuilding Corporation, which employed as many as 30,000 workers at its peak during World War II. Dr. Singh hopes to recapture that glory.
Putting the plant in a place where unemployment is 30% is also the right thing to do. A high-class company can't call itself high-class if it does not impact the community.
What you're looking at here is one of the largest plate rolling machines in North America.
The capabilities here allow for the manufacturing of anything.
This is a state-of-the-art 6,000-watt Tanaka laser. It's capable of cutting up to 3/4-inch thick stainless steel very cleanly and accurately.
The company's focus is on producing its patented container for the safe storage of spent nuclear fuel.
This is an example of the diameter and thickness of one of our multi-purpose canister shells.
They are needed badly, and this plant will manufacture about 200 of them per year.
Awarded more than 70 patents since the company launched in 1986, Holtec's design innovations have transformed the industry.
We are working in developing a new nuclear reactor, a whole new one. And if that happens, then Camden and this area will be transformed and create an infrastructure here that will rival what the shipyard had 50 years ago.
In 2014, an ambitious plan to provide a better outlet for Pennsylvania's natural gas resources was put into motion. 3 years later, the project is nearly complete, thanks to a major effort among our region's trade organizations.
I've never seen a project like this in my whole entire career. I think this is the biggest one that our local has ever been a part of.
The Mariner East project includes hundreds of miles of pipeline construction and a massive overhaul to Sunoco's former oil refinery in Delaware County.
We had over 5,000 workers at Marcus Hook. The majority of the labor was from the local job market. We feel very fortunate about that.
On the Mariner East 2, we had well over 500 electricians from across the tri-state area.
We peaked at 900 steam fitters, which was, it was a tremendous boost for us.
We've gone from 10 apprentices each year to 25 apprentices each year. It's growing, and we're able to give back to the communities that way by helping others.
It just opens up so many other opportunities, not just here at this facility. So the possibilities are endless.
The investments in the Mariner East projects helps not only the competitiveness of existing manufacturing, but sets the stage and supports future investment and growth, which can obviously lead to further growth and jobs.
Competition in the healthcare market can benefit consumers by encouraging innovation and containing costs. Collaboration ensures patients receive the best possible care.
There are many services that Virtua does extremely well, but there are gaps in what we are able to provide to our community based upon our current level of expertise. And that's when we evaluate partnerships.
South Jersey-based Virtua has partnered with Penn Medicine and the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
We realized that we each had strengths that we could leverage for each other in taking care of the patients.
The Penn partnership brings the latest advances in cancer care to Virtua.
That includes access to clinical trials, new protocol development, and even helps support us with some of those hard-to-recruit specialists.
The Alliance also provides South Jersey residents easy access to the region's best-ranked neurosurgery program.
We were sending out hundreds of patients a year that needed neurosurgical care. We now have one partner where we send those patients, and we're really able to oversee the quality of care, the outcome of that patient.
Meanwhile, the CHOP partnership brings their pediatric expertise to Virtua hospitals.
So CHOP physicians are in our pediatric emergency rooms, in our neonatology areas. So when patients come here, they're treated by CHOP physicians.
Collaborations like these strengthen Virtua's commitment to the community and sets a standard for the future of healthcare. Growing Greater Philadelphia, presented by PECO. PECO, the future is on. Growing Greater Philadelphia is presented by the General Building Contractors Association.
the greater Philadelphia region has not only kept up with the rest of the country, but is ahead in many respects.
This region's ripe for partnerships. So it allows organizations to come together to provide for the needs of the community, leverage one another's strengths. There's also a number of entrepreneurs and innovative thinkers.
One of the best assets that Greater Philadelphia has is this kind of ability for a startup to take capital and make its value go such a long way. And that's been hugely important for us to be competitive on a global scale.
We're going from a creative society into a creative economy where these creative skill sets are becoming valued. And I really think this is the future of urban education, allowing kids to figure out what type of creatives they are, what type of problem solvers they are, instilling in these kids an entrepreneurial spirit and a startup culture.
It's here that we thought of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's exactly what we do. We're after the pursuit of happiness for the community as a whole.
Thank you for joining us as we explore the exciting growth of our region. For information or to watch this episode and others, visit NBC10.com/GGP and be social with the hashtag #GrowGreaterPHL. We'll see you next time on Growing Greater Philadelphia.
Growing Greater Philadelphia in partnership with the Select Greater Philadelphia Council. Learn more at selectgreaterphl.com.